listening to the Novel Universe Podcast, a monthly YA podcast hosted by Dawn and Elise Martinez, YA librarians from the Chicagoland area. Each episode features reviews and rants on new and upcoming YA books. We're here to help you navigate your TBR pile. What's good, what's bad, and everything in between. I'm Dawn, the criticizer of books.
And I'm Elise, the rejecter of romance.
So turn up the volume. Here we go.
Alright everybody, welcome back to the next episode of the Novel Universe. We are back with our monthly predictions this time. We're going to be doing November 2019, obviously, for you guys. And then we are going to breeze into a cold open, which we can do now.
Yeah.
I was like, why am I explaining that? Alright, so this is the end of the year book tag, which we kind of discovered today.
Found this by booktuber Amerie Bissett.
Sweet.
All right.
Take it away down.
Okay. First question is, are there any books you started but need to finish? I don't normally do this. If I start a book, I'm going to read it, and if I DNF it, then I like that's the conclusion. The only book that I've started and hasn't finished is Fountains of Silence. I read the first page, and it was only because I wasn't in the mood, and so I don't know. I'm waiting for you to finish to tell me if it's worth my time.
How long ago was it so you did it before I mentioned any comments about the book?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting that you bring that up. Let's see. I'm skimming through my notes real quick because I think I do have some positive notes. I'll wait to make any comments on that until we answer a different question.
Okay.
My life is a perpetual state of books I haven't finished, so I've got quite a few. The first being Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I started that months ago when I got the ARC, and for some reason my ARCs on Edelweiss expire after a certain amount of time, and so I wasn't able to finish that one. I was a significant way through, but because it's been so long, I'm just going to restart it. And then the Paper Girls graphic novel series by Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chang ended this October, and I have not read the last 2 volumes, so I need to do that. I'm going to wait till we do it with our teen book club, though. And then last, Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. I did not finish that book, but I really want to because it was good.
Okay.
So.
All right. Is there a new release you're still waiting for?
Yes.
Yeah. Only a couple. Call Down the Hawk is the one I've been waiting for, and I'll go into it more because it's on my TBR, so I'll just say the title and I'll let it go.
Exactly the same for me. I've got Call Down the Hawk, and I took this question more as that I don't have in my possession.
Okay.
Because there are books that I have that I'm waiting to be published, but anyway, yeah. And I won't say anything else because, we're going to be talking about that later.
Okay. Do you have an autumnal book to transition to the end of year?
This was a bizarre-ass question.
I'm assuming it's like a book that you read every year to get you ready for the fall. I don't understand the question.
Yeah, I don't understand the question either. So what I just said was, I thought of it like in terms of like a cozy read you're reading at home. And so I was like, well, I'm planning on starting like another reread of the Harry Potter series. So that's, I guess, going to be my winter reading once this shit's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put no.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there are some books that I plan to reread. Like,
did you literally just write no?
Yes.
You did? Oh my god, that's such a Dawn thing.
I kind of wanted to reread the Throne of Glass series. I have already started. I finished 1 and 2, and I really need to read book 3 because I picked and chose my chapters. Like, I skipped the Manon chapters. I know, I'm an idiot. So I need to at least go back and read that one. But I don't know if I wanted to do that to prepare for the final book that was published a year and a half ago. I don't know where I was going with that.
Rereading the Throne of Glass was a 2019 reading resolution for me, and I think I made it to chapter 3 of book 1 and then quickly gave that up because
really?
I don't know what happened. I do not know. I'm horrible with resolutions. I don't even know why I bother.
Yeah, so I'll choose that.
Yeah.
Because this is the end of the year. There are no books published. I got nothing. And I don't know if I want to start 2020 stuff, so maybe it'll be that. Okay. Is there a book you think could shock you and become your favorite of the year?
Yeah. So possibly Fountains of Silence. I was significantly through that book and I was like, I don't dislike it. She's a great author. I'm just not sure that the story is interesting to me. Like, it's taking a very long time to build and set up.
Okay.
But now that she's setting it up and it's getting going, it is fucking dark.
How far are you into it?
I'm I have it with me. I'm about halfway now. Like, actually halfway this time. So if this ends up, like, if she commits to what she's writing about in her story, oh my god, like, this could be, oof.
Well, now I'll read it. I'll finish it then.
Or 13 Doorways, Wolves Behind Them All, just because Laura Ruby is
I don't
Laura
know if
Ruby.
you're gonna like that one.
Maybe I like it because I don't get it. I don't know.
No, it's easy to get. Like, you didn't like Bone Gap as much as I did, so maybe you will like 13 Doorways better than I did. I don't know.
Maybe.
I put The Toll by Neil Shusterman as the third book in the side series. I'm not going to go into it too much because it is on my TBR, but it's a book 3. It's the final book in the series, and those I find myself I don't like book 3s as much as I do.
I feel that.
But because I have enjoyed the series a lot, and I think he's a really good writer, I'm hoping this is going to be a 5 because I haven't given any 5s this year, and I'm hoping this is it. I only have 2 more chances for a 5, and that's that and Call Down the Hawk. So
I'm crossing my fingers that
I'm putting a lot of weight on this book.
Even though with Call Down, well, we'll get into that because we're gonna do predictions soon. All right. Which question are we on?
What 3 books?
3 books. I guess I'll go back to 13 Doorways, Wolves Behind Them All. I keep wanting to say Wolves All the Way Down.
Question.
Wait, what are you talking about? What are the 3 books you want to read by the end of the year?
Yeah, you didn't say the question.
Oh, I thought you did. I'm sorry. Okay, so what are the 3 books you want to read by the end of the year? 13 Doorways, Wolves Behind Them All, obviously by Laura Ruby. Grave Maidens by Kelly Kuhn. And then I'm going to read an adult because I like Sophie Kinsella's books. So the Christmas Shopaholic. Shopaholic is my guilty pleasure. That book series is ridiculous, but they are so funny. She's a very comedic author, and I like her, so I got that one on Edelweiss.
Cool.
I'm blasting through it because it's like fluffy reading.
My 3 books are Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. This book keeps getting pushed back, and I'm hoping it's because it's gonna be good and not because it needs to be better edited. I don't know. I'm just hoping.
That's always worrying. I have one of those too.
Ooh. My second one is Sanctuary by V.V. James, and she wrote Guiding Light. That was a soap opera. What was it? Gilded Trees. No, Gilded Cage.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Wow.
So if you haven't read the Gilded Cage series, it's great. You need to read it. And my third one is Deep Light by Frances Hardinge. She's an author that I have read everything by. She has been late to the author game in this country. She's really popular in England where she's from. But The Lie Tree was like her best book, and now they have started, they released all her older books because it was really popular here. And so I went back and read all her older stuff. And I love The Lie Tree. It was like my favorite of that year. And her other stuff has been really good, but it has been it's trudging. It's like walking through mud to get to the point. And I want her to just thin it out a little bit. Just get to your point and stop, And her books are considered middle grade, which I would consider them adult. Simply because, well, her main characters are always like 12.
Still, so is Pan's Labyrinth, but I wouldn't show that to a child. And
it's not the content. It's not like sexual or language or anything. It's just that it's content as in it is a very, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a lot going on in the book. And I don't think a 12-year-old can keep up with because I have a hard time keeping up with. So, yeah, so I'm hoping this is like the next Lie Tree. Come on.
All right. Have you already made reading plans for 2020? Yes, I have. I did not put my full TBR here because I didn't want to steal from future podcast episodes where I'm sure we'll go into our full TBR, so I just chose 3. I am interested in reading What Kind of Girl by Alyssa B. Scheinmel. I need to read more realistic fiction. I always tell myself this, and then I really never do. Silvered Serpents, obviously by Roshni Chokshi. I love her. This book keeps getting pushed back too. Ugh. The first book came out in February, and this one's not coming out till September.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if that's because it's really good or she needs more time to work through some of the stuff. The first book was not a mess. Well, the only other time that has happened was
and Laini Taylor, Strange the Dreamer. It got pushed back several months and it ended up being fantastic. So
I mean, more time never hurts, right?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe they're pushing it back because they want to get it into the big fall book season, and maybe February is just slow. I don't know, which it actually isn't slow. I don't know why I said that, but
and then the last one for me is The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. I'm very intrigued by this book. I read Legend and I hated it, and I haven't read anything else by her, so I'm going to give this fantasy a try. You're giving me very weird looks over there.
I am.
Have you read this already?
No.
Oh.
I'm giving you weird looks because I had her 4th book in the Legend series on my TBR for October, and it sat on my table for months, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to read it because I have said this in previous podcasts. I don't think Marie Lu has grown as a writer, and I didn't enjoy the Young Elite series. I didn't like Warcross, and her Batman was okay, but I wouldn't call it. It's the same type of writing. Nothing is new for her as far as writing style, and so I've given her I actually read Warcross and Booktube, and I read all 3 Elites so that's 6 books. I've given 6 books of her a try, and it just hasn't happened, and I think I'm over it.
I'm trying to remember what my problem with Legend was. I can't remember if I was bothered by the writing, by how she told her story, or the story itself. And I read Legend when I was fresh in this job. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna read this one because it's a different genre, and maybe I will decide I don't like her, but I'm gonna give it a try.
Yeah.
It's not the top 5 anticipated of my next year, but it's there. Just because the story sounded good. It's a fairy tale retelling, I think.
Yeah, I didn't even. I saw the name and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna read that.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, fantasy, interesting. Okay.
I took this question a little differently. I didn't list any. I haven't really looked at 2020 books. I just kind of I answered it as far as reading goal. I'm not going to make my reading goal of 72 books this year. I'm only at about 52, and I'm not going to read 20 books in 2 months. That's not going to happen. So, the only plans I have made is planning to read less books next year. I don't know. For my reading goal, that's the only plans I've made. I haven't even looked at titles.
I only did because of the galley chat.
Okay.
So, I like to have some to throw out there. But, that's a good point about the reading goal, though. I did 75 this year because I think I read 65 books last year. I am nowhere near my 75 goal. I'm also, 20 books behind. Maybe 50. I don't know.
How can you say 20? Maybe 50?
No. I'm 20 books behind my 75. So I feel 50 is a realistic goal for next year.
I was like, how are you going to say maybe I'm 50 books behind? That's not even close.
No, not at all. All right. Well, that was interesting.
Yeah.
You can listen to future podcast episodes for the rest of our TBR. All right, let's go into our November predictions.
All right. We're both going to read Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater. I just looked up the description.
Same.
I didn't even know. I just know it's about Ronin. I didn't even know what it was about.
There is very little in the way of plot synopsis and Goodreads.
Yeah. And I'm not
Which I like about it. Yeah, I like that. I'm
going to predict a 4.10. I just did I did that so I can see your face, but really I'm going to do a 4.10.
I am about to walk out of this office.
Okay, so just a little bit of backstory. It's based on Ronan Lynch. You probably don't have to read The Raven Boys, but you probably should.
I am not getting that sense from the comments.
You have to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you should anyway because it's great. And Dream Thieves, which is Ronan's book, is the best book in the series and probably one of the best YA books I've ever read. That book was phenomenal. Just the imagination of the Ronan character himself. Ronan is a dreamer, which means he can dream and he can take things out of his dream. However, I don't know if this is a spoiler. A little bit. Is it a spoiler? This is not a spoiler.
The fact that he can dream and take things out of his dream. If you haven't read the Raven Boys series, I don't know.
About his mom. Anyway.
Yeah, the mom is totes a spoiler.
Okay. So let's say you are a dreamer like Ronan and you take a person out of the dream. If, say, you know what I'm trying to say. for instance, if Ronan dies, then the person he took out would be in a coma. They're basically asleep forever. So, and that's in the description of the book, so it's not a spoiler. But it kind of, something like that happens in Dream Thieves. So I'm pretty sure it's going to happen again. Mm-hmm. But in this book, we have 2 new characters. Jordan Hennessy, a thief who is after a dream object, and Carmen Farouk Lane, who hunts dreamers. Mm-hmm. I was a little worried about this book because I'm like, oh God, I don't like Adam. And
that was one of my points here. I'm specifically requesting more development about both Adam as a person and them as a couple, because I had no problem with the direction that she went with them in terms of them like discovering that they loved each other and whatever.
I did. I felt like it came out of nowhere.
I did and I didn't. You know, Ronan keeps himself so locked up that this didn't surprise me.
I knew that he was in love with Adam, but Adam didn't seem to show anything toward. He didn't even come across.
We were led to believe that he liked Blue at first.
Yeah.
Which, whatever, he may be bisexual. I don't know.
But it was never.
Adam's character was the least developed for me in terms of the group of friends.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I would.
He didn't
like
even get
her,
his own book.
I would like her to take the opportunity to do that a little bit more, either in this book or in this series. I want to know why Ronan loves him, because frankly, I don't. He's a little bit of a wet blanket.
I think he's just damaged like Ronan is, and he just found a kindred spirit.
That's not enough for me.
I'm so sorry. I get it, man. I get it.
Yeah, so
I'm on board.
I just want their relationship to be more fleshed out. I want development, not relationship drama. Mm-hmm. And then I am really intrigued by Carmen Farouk Lane specifically. Like, why is she hunting down dreamers? What happened between when we left off with Raven Boys and now? Because I'm assuming they're older.
Not necessarily, because if they're older than that, they would put them in college. Mm-hmm. And then it's not YA anymore, technically.
We don't know.
So maybe it's just, were they seniors?
I think
they were
seniors. Seniors. They were definitely upperclassmen.
Yeah.
I don't remember them graduating.
I don't remember the graduation either.
But people in the comments are freaking out over domestic Ronan TM because apparently he has a child. So I think I'm preparing for them to be adults.
Is this YA? Did you look and see?
I did not, because I don't really care. I'm gonna read regardless.
I mean, I am too, but it's people still would like to know.
People in the comments are like, Ronan has a child, blah,
Did he
blah,
take
blah.
that child out of his dream?
We don't know.
Well, then there you go. But she can't kill Ronan because it's a series and he can't die. Right. So, interesting.
Yeah. So, domestic Ronan is a thing that's trending in the comments of that book. Because it's ironic. Like, I guess he, like, I don't remember this specifically, but he makes fun of Gansey throughout all of Raven Boys for being, like, such a dad. And now he, like, literally is one. So.
Ronan has no business being a dad.
That
guy is
But he is so affectionate and caring towards Matthew. So
True.
I don't know if, like, Matthew is who these people are referring to, because the plot synopsis does not say that. So where are you getting this information? I don't know. It was, like, a major book reviewer, though, so I don't know if she's, like, privy to certain things
she
or
must
has read the book.
The book has not who got the book?
Or if it's in the first 8 chapters, because those have been released.
Yeah.
Which I have not read, because
I don't do that.
What's the point?
I'm going to have to reread it anyway. I'm just teasing myself.
Right. So, other than that, I have no idea what this book is about, so I'm going in with a pretty open, but hopeful mind.
Yeah.
So I don't have a ton of predictions. Mine was I'm predicting a 4 stars. That's really generous.
For Steve on it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have not read a bad book. I mean, yes, The Raven King.
I hated that last book. So
I didn't hate it. I think I still gave it a 5 though. But
I think I gave it a 3. 2.75. I don't know. I didn't like it.
All right. Who's next?
You.
Or my only other book is The Toll by Neil Shusterman. Once again, this is the Scythe series. If you have not read the Scythe series and you like alternative, or it's not post-apocalyptic, it's alternate universe or sci-fi, if you like that, then this book is fucking fantastic. And if you haven't read it, you need to. And he does something at the end of book 2, which was very brave for an author to do. I will not say it, obviously, because it is a spoiler. So I'm very intrigued as to what he is going to do. I have not read the synopsis because I do not want a spoiler. So I have no idea what it's about because I don't want to be spoiled. Because are you going to read the series?
No.
Well, then I will tell you what he did after the podcast. Because I need to tell somebody.
Oh, boy. All right, my last book.
I am predicting a 4.23.
Okay, this
Let's
is just
switch
out of
it up.
control. This is
Switch it
out
up.
of control. How do you even get that? Okay. Is that it for that one?
That is it.
All right. I'm also only reading one more book. I am circling back around to Blood Heir by Amelia Wen Zhao. This was supposed to be originally published earlier this year. June, thank you. There was a massive controversy around this book for racist or insensitive content. I'm probably not going to be like looking for that. Mm-hmm. I found the book was originally on my TBR for June, and then it was pulled for all that stuff. So I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. So I will read it. It did remind me that I wanted to read it. And then after reading interviews about the author, I guess this book is an attempt on the author's part to grapple with like her sense of being the other as reflected in her experiences being an American immigrant, an immigrant to America. And so that was what like originally drew me to the book. And I'm sad that like her book was originally like met with such criticism, but we'll see. I mean, I'll come back with that and let you know what my thoughts were. I'm hoping for good world building and that the elements where she was originally criticized will like actually have an impactful bearing on her story. Like, what was she trying to do with this? Mm-hmm. Why was it a problem? Is it still a problem, etc. So again, that's Blood Heir by Amelia Wen Zhao. All right. My prediction is 3.75.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next week, we will be starting our next read along with the universe. We will be reading The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This has been getting some mixed reviews.
It's different.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's so risky for an author to do, to not only jump genres, but jump audiences. I have no problem that she's doing it. It is different. I went in expecting something different and got something different. Yeah. You know, it's not the same as her other books.
It is not. It is a lot slower, and I think that's one thing people are having a problem with, is our main character, Alex, is, you know, her development is very slow. And when I was and I have read it already, so it's not, Elise has read up to a certain point, but I have finished it. But I kind of want to reread it just because I was kind of frustrated myself. I'm like, oh my God, she is pissing me off. This is really boring. I don't know what's happening. The main character was bothering me as far as pacing. Why is she so hung up with this murder that happened? And as you learn her backstory, then you figure out why she's so hung up on this girl and this girl's murder. So I liked it. I'm not going to say my real review. Well, I gave it a 4.25. And the only reason why I lowered it was...
4.23?
No, it was a 2.5. And that was one of the reasons because, you know, she was obsessed with this girl. But now that I know why and I had time to think about it, I don't know. And then it's also good to get, you know, somebody else's perspective. So we will be reading the first 5 chapters on November 7th. So if you have the book, you can read along with us. If you're kind of like on the fence, if you want to read it, read
just
with us.
Just 5 chapters?
I believe 5 chapters is almost 100 pages, dude.
I know they're long-ass chapters. It's just, I was like, God, that seems short. But yeah.
You want to say something?
I do not.
You breathed. Okay.
No, I'm just breathing like a human.
you inhaled and made it seem.
No,
like
I was just. Something. I guess I'll just say that like people need to understand that like this book. I feel like even if I don't end up liking the book, it shows a real skill and talent because she understands that she's writing for a different genre or a different audience now, and her writing is physically different. Yeah. Like that's talent. She's leaning into those adult fiction conventions where you're really lingering on the details. And I don't have a problem with that. No. It is very slow, but she's not wasting your time.
No.
You know, and I found it very interesting that she seems to so easily move into a different type of writing. So
I think people, you know, they love Six of Crows and was a very fast-moving plot, and this one isn't. Yeah. And that's okay. And from what I understand, there are going to be 5 books in the series, and that would make sense as to why it is very slow.
Right.
It's not a duology, folks.
Exactly.
And it's, you know, Shadow and Bone, those were 3 books, but they were almost 400 pages. That's short. Right. Those are short books. So, you know, I'm excited to read it again. All right. That is it.
That is the end of our podcast for today.
Thank you. Are we going back to the shitty outros? Let's not do that.
Shitty outro.
We'll catch you in the next podcast.